ahead, please.
Recording is in progress.
I'm not seeing Jane.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning.
And yeah, and then good evening, everyone, depending from where you are. So my name is Leno from Guinea. I'm the Vice Contenter Secretary General of UNAD. And then today I'm going to coordinate the meeting because the Secretary General, which is Madam Jane, probably is not around today, and she told me to coordinate for the meeting. So thank you, and then I thank everybody here present, those who make it today possible to be here. So I thank you all. You are all welcome to come together and discuss African issues. So today's agenda is the first one is the introductory word speech of the president, and the second will be the introduction of the guests and the members of UNAL. Then we go through the TOT presentation sessions. Then we have three presenters today. The first person will be Mr. Crenshaw from USA, hip hop culture. And the second person will be Wilfred. And the third person will be Mr. Samson Oluj from Kenya. Then we go through AOB. So once again, thank you for being here on this meeting. Then, Mr. President, and if you are there, over to you.
Thank you very much, Lino. Thanks to everyone who is here and even those who are on their way. I'm happy to be on board today, even though I'm still sick. I'm not feeling bright, and that's why I'm at home today. I couldn't go to work. However, this shouldn't stop our plans, what we have. And so I want to welcome everyone on board to the UnityNet African Diaspora, especially those, I'm not seeing a new person here, but I think we all know what the UnityNet African Diaspora UNAD Monday session is. It's a place holder of where we do exchange of knowledge and collaboration to ensure that we analyze issues around challenges in development in Africa, and also look at the possible opportunities that are in existence and what all of us can do, both Africans in Africa and as well as also in diaspora, and also in collaboration with our colleagues in the diaspora in Canada, America, in Asia, in Europe, etc. So I want to thank all of you. And so please, we have a long list and so many things we have to go through today, but we encourage our partners, especially funding partners, funding opportunities for them to come on board to ensure that we look at the numerous gaps we have in Africa and how we can collaborate those opportunities and provide the available opportunities and provide them the solution, the rightful solutions to all these challenges we have, especially the issue of food insecurity in Africa is very, very important. That is really is a key component that we look at, all of us, to find ways and means to reduce that problem, and in order for our brothers and sisters who are yearning to go to Europe and America and other places for opportunities for them to see Africa as a honeybee place where they can live and they can get all what it takes, and where they can have their dignity and integrity, because this is exactly the exponential focus for us to ensure that Africans and diaspora integrity and dignity is foremost, is respected. And if it is missing, we want to ensure that we replace it back by our beloved partners, the likes of Lisa, the likes of Lloyd, of course, and others. Of course, I'm seeing Mike today and others, to ensure that we all support this paradigm of development. So no one gets it all. African alone cannot do it all. No, of course, all of us equally can do it. Together, we can succeed, and we can succeed easily. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. President, for this introduction. I think also what those are on board. So we go to the next point, which is the introduction of the guests. You know that today is your first time to attend this meeting. You can kindly raise your hand and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mike Crenshaw. It's good to see you all and good to make my first meeting. I've been doing work as a cultural activist for, close to 20 years. Actually closer to 30 years. I started as a hip hop artist and an educator, combining hip hop lyricism and popular education in the late 80s. And I was hired to teach at a high school that I was graduating from in Minneapolis. So I began to learn as a teenager how to create curricula and teach social studies. And what I was learning about my role as a Black activist organizing for human rights through anti-racist struggles in the United States eventually became the content of the lyrics that I wrote and recorded in hip hop music and performed. So I was combining what I was learning from social rights, or excuse me, social justice circles and meeting elders who were parts of freedom movements. I was combining the things that I was learning about those histories and art, and then going in the classroom during the day and teaching and performing at night. And eventually I moved to Portland, Oregon, and got involved in activism and hip hop here, and was invited to Rwanda in 2004. There was a conference, a Great Lakes region conference. There were people there from Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Zambia. There were about 60 people at this conference on Lake Kivu, and it was focused on HIV/AIDS, genocide reconciliation, economic justice, and youth empowerment. There were only 9 of us from the States, and those of us from the United States, our participation in the conference was sponsored by American Friends Service Committee, who was doing a lot of peace building work. So this was 2004, the 10-year anniversary of the Rwandese genocide. And while there in Kigali, I met youth workers and organizers who were doing work in the Great Lakes region. And some of them asked if I could help them build a computer center. One of them was Jean-Claude Kundwa, who's from Burundi. And he, at the time, there was an organization called African Youth Initiative Network. And he represented that organization and we helped him establish a computer center in Burundi. We got computers donated, and we raised the money to ship the computers, 7 desktop computers to Burundi. We raised that money through hip hop shows, working with Dead Prez and other local artists in the States. And in about 2007, they set up a computer center. They have since progressed from the computer center, where they teach people computer literacy and fluency in the English language, to 2 computer centers. And more recently, they started putting in infrastructure. So I'm going to share with you some of the information about the infrastructure projects. So let me find, it'll take me a sec to find the document here.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Crenshaw?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is the presentation session, which shall come to that point. You will have the floor to do your presentation after everybody would try to, those who came today, when they try to present, to introduce themselves, then we shall come to you, right? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello? Any other person? Is there any other person who here for the first time? Yeah, I can see Lloyd's hand. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lloyd.
No, I'm just starting my video. I just wanted to introduce myself with the video on. So Lloyd Halferty, Chief Ecosystem Director, Program Development Director, Sustainable Society Consultant, Energym University. It's in Manhattan, the US, but I am in city of Markham in the greater Toronto area of Ontario, Canada, here on Turtle Island. We're the ones that have been working together with Carlos and others to develop this global Unity network, which we are moving forward to establish UnityNet Africa and Diaspora to bring together all of the 55 countries of Africa in a cohesive network where we can begin not only promoting the various peace-based solutions to achieving what we call a productive, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that leaves no one behind, but also begin developing some actual on-the-ground projects to demonstrate some of these solutions in the various communities of Africa where we have a presence. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody and thank you, Mick, for coming on this call. I know you're working closely with Lisa Anise, who's a critical member of our network, is doing interviews with many of our members and trying to figure out what's actually happening on the ground and develop especially that hip hop network, artists and others across the all of these local communities of our network, which I think is vital because we want to establish what we call UnityNet learning gardens, these peace and regenerative development centers, these community hubs where we can deliver all of this programming both in person and virtually, so we can connect all the people of Africa with all the people of the African diaspora and other communities around the world who are interested in helping to transform their own local communities to become more resilient to climate change and adapt to this new paradigm we're entering as we try to figure out how we can move forward as a human species, even in a changing climate. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lloyd. Thank you so much. Yeah, we go. Yeah, is there any other person? Yeah. Is there any other person? You can see. Okay. You can see Imran Riziki. Is it your first time to attend this meeting? Hello, Riziki.
Yeah, Lloyd, I mean, sorry, Lenore, I think what we should do, let's everyone introduce
Himself.
ourselves, because we have new people that do not know
Mhm.
who are we. So it's very important for them to know who are we.
Okay. Yeah, that was that.
Exactly. So maybe everyone.
Okay, we start from you. Start from you, the president.
All right. Okay. A quick one. My name is Carlos Richard Sanko. I'm the president of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, and also a member of the UnityNet International. And I'm also working for the Union of European Expert Chambers. You see in Africa as a project manager, and at the same time also promoting focus on rural development in Africa, which is a non-governmental organization. And so I'm working with the diasporans as well as the African residents to promote Africa, to transform Africa from the current pandemic, I call it pandemic stage, to a real African itself with integrity and credibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Lloyd, go ahead.
Lloyd already introduced himself, so we can
Okay.
go ahead with the
No
other
problem.
things.
Yeah, Lisa, Anis.
My name's Lisa Anis Sutphin. I'm a member of the International Dance Council Division of UNESCO. I'm also working with UnityNet International, organizing the CBO and NGO on the ground to form cooperative partnerships. Someone needs to mute their microphone. Thank you. At this point, we have over 420 CBO and NGO who are wanting to participate in this activity, and that does not include the members of their association groups that I have yet to meet, which number anywhere from 3 CBO to 12, and we have approximately 26 different groups that have formed associations of people they desire in their communities that we're going through that process with. So if you wish for any more information, you will find my contact, my various contacts in the chat. Thank you.
I had muted Neoma, so if you want to unmute yourself to continue. So moving forward, perhaps Carlos, you should take over. Carlos, are you able to?
Yeah, all right. So
continue?
yes, can we have Henry? And after Henry, we have Doris and then Atama. Yes, go ahead. And Samson, etc.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe I should just put my video on so that you can see me as well. My name is Heinrich van der Merwe. And I'm from South Africa, UnityNet South Africa. and I've joined the fight against poverty in Africa. And I believe that with the support of ingenuity and structured programs, we can make a difference. We need to identify those catalytic programs and projects that we need to implement. And then we also need to look at the livability factors. We need to understand that children and old people will always be with us, and we can't leave anybody behind. In the programs that we are setting up, we need to create spaces where people can access information, can access help and support. And at the end of the day, we need all to be willing to participate and make a difference to fight the war against poverty in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Samson? Samson, go ahead. Oh Lord, can you please wait? Yeah, can you please wait?
Thank you.
Yeah, Samson, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. President, to allow me to just do an introduction of myself. I am Samson Oluoch from Kenya. I'm the founder and the executive director of Bridges of Hope organization that is founded in Kenya. I am a community partnership and collaboration initiative officer within Africa and also in Kenya, whereby Bridges of Hope, we are partnering and collaborating with more than 300 self-help groups and 13 CBOs within the nation. Generally, we are focusing on agri-hackathon initiative and also holistic agriculture. We are also doing church leadership training and resource mobilization across the nation to elevate poverty among the vulnerable within African community. I am also a member of UnityNet Kenya and also official of advisor of UNAD. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you. Leno, are you back? We go to Atama and then Doris.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Happy to see you all after a while. My name is Chemeze Atama, and I'm the founding director of Equity Watch Initiative. Equity Watch Initiative is a non-governmental organization that is committed to promoting gender equality and empowering women and girls. I am also a lecturer in the first indigenous university in Nigeria, the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And I'm also a UnityNet Africa and Diaspora and UnityNet Nigeria member. I'm so happy to be with you this evening. I've been missing the meeting for quite a while. I'm sorry I can't put my video on because I've been struggling with network. So if I try to do that, it might knock me out. So I'm sorry about that. So I'm happy with you this evening, especially listening to some people talking about poverty in Africa and how we can alleviate it. And all of us know that when we talk about poverty, it has a kind of more impact on women and girls than it do for the men and boys. And that is why in my organization, we are being strategic about what can we do to alleviate poverty generally and for women and girls particularly. So we have been working around the clock to see how we can reduce gender-based violence. And gender-based violence is usually multifaceted because when you look at it holistically, you find that issues of poverty are there incorporated in gender-based violence. Issues of hunger a lot of issues that are tied up with it. And so we are on ground here, trying to link up, trying to connect, collaborate, and partner with people who will be able to help us in addressing the level of poverty, the level of gender-based violence that we are experiencing in Nigeria. And when we talk about gender-based violence, it doesn't necessarily mean that it affects only men and women, women and girls alone. It's just that it has more significant impact on women and girls. So it's an issue that, affects everybody, and it requires everybody, all hands on deck to be able to address that. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Hello?
Yes. Yeah, Leno, go ahead. Yes.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, Madam Juliet. Introduce yourself. Madam Juliet. Hello?
Juliet,
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. No, so I've just been seeing Professor Lloyd's hand being up for a while, but let me introduce myself. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Ambassador Juliet Miabo. I am based in South Africa, specifically Johannesburg. I am originally from Soweto. My home is literally around the corner from the Mandela's house. But that's just a side issue. I'm involved in various organizations. Let's start locally. Locally, I work with the Soweto CSI Council, where our job is to ensure that we look at how companies, organizations, both locally and internationally and globally, can contribute to what we've always called on this meeting globalization, where we can look at global and local solutions to local problems, because we all are facing and dealing with local problems. And I work with various constituencies. I work with children under the NPC called Sports and Kids. I work with youth under the program Using Mainly Sport, Jama Skaters Youth Development Program. That has been going on for almost 23 years now. I work with the elderly because we've recognized that the people who look after children and youth in a lot of the households in our communities are the elderly. So we have a program called Bokuku. That one is a program that it's included in various things that we do. Bokuku is a Sesotho word for Bokoko, meaning the elderly. And then we also work in partnership with other organizations that deal with organizations such as the Men's Forum that deal with ways of including or getting men, including boy children, to be part of the solution. But with us, the issue of the boy children is included in what we do under Tots and Kids. So it's not dealt with separately. And my background is media and marketing. I've worked in the area of broadcasting, and I'm one of the board members of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, and we are part of what is being formally formed as which is UnityNet South Africa. I serve under the stakeholder relations, media, marketing, and ICT team with Bishop Adele. I don't know if he's in the meeting, but other than that, our emphasis also, our programs are aligned to issues of empowerment of women, empowerment of girl children, and economic empowerment of the marginalized people. We work mainly in what you call the townships, or I call them the VVCs, which is your vulnerable, volatile communities. So that is because South Africa is both very it's got two worlds. You've got the very well-off world, and then we've got a very poor world. And then we focus mainly on developing what we call the marginalized world. And yes, I look forward, and I'm glad to be part of this group. And I'm also now part of, and that's the reason why I have not been able to be part of a lot of meetings. So it's an official apology that I need to give. And I did send a message in writing because we had a lot that was happening on the ground. It was in the news globally and everywhere in South Africa, particularly in Soweto and other townships. So what it meant is we had to be hands-on in terms of finding solutions to all the unrest and the killings. So they're still happening, but at least we have formed ourselves to have a group that responds and that holds, it's a lobby and advocacy group that will hold government at a local level, at a national level, and at a regional level to make sure that they respond or take care of things that make our communities volatile. So I'm now part of an organization called One Soweto, but it's not just limited to Soweto, it's linked to all other townships in South Africa. And I'm also a participant in Global Peace Let's Talk and other organizations that are global. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Madam Juliet. Thank you for your introduction. Good, we go to the next person who is, you can see Rizeki Emiran. Introduce yourself. Rizeki.
Hello.
Yeah. Can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, hello, Rizeki.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
Mr.
is Doris.
Doris. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone from this end. I'm sorry I'm not able to share my I'm not able to share my video, so you cannot see me. I'm moving, I'm traveling. Yeah, but Doris Kamagara from Uganda. I'm a member of UnityNet African Diaspora, and I'm the Vice Secretary, UnityNet African Diaspora, Uganda chapter. I'm also the founder of Bagashe Children Foundation in Uganda, where basically we deal with the basic needs of children and also reach out to expecting mothers, because that's why we expect these children from. I'm sorry, I may not say a lot because I'm moving, I'm traveling. My apologies to everyone. Kindly bear with me. Although I'm able to connect to the meeting, I'm happy to be part of the meeting this evening.
Okay, thank you, Madam Doris. Thank you so much. Yeah, then we go to Mr. Patrick Goma. Mr. Patrick.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Elena, for giving me the opportunity that I can also introduce myself. My name is Patrick Nkoma. I'm from Malawi. I am a pastor for Assemblies of God, and also I am an entrepreneur. I do business, I supplies, and also I run an organization which we call our Traore Foundation, which we are focusing on 5 areas: mental, physical, social, spiritual, intellectual, as well as also cultural. So yes, actually we are interacting with the youth in this area of Traore Foundation. We train them on football, more especially the students. I deal with students in various public schools. And I'm also a student as well, a student for a global investor. I'm doing Bachelor of Arts in the Intercultural Studies. Actually, I was about to finish last year, but due to some other challenges, I am yet to finish. Probably this year in time, I'll be finishing. Yeah, so that's all about me from here in Malawi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Thank you so much for your introduction. Then the next person was Emewan Riziki. I don't know whether she is unable to unmute. Okay. So thank you so much for your different introduction. Then I can see Aloy the hand. Yes, Aloy, go ahead. Well, we go to the next point.
Thank you. I've actually had my hand up for quite a while because Mick has left us. He did say at the beginning of the call that he needed to leave at 12:45, so which has happened already. So we do not have Mick on our call anymore to do his presentation. So what I will do is I'll try to get in contact with Mick to see if we can have him come on during one of our future IGU Summit events on Thursdays.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, then thank you, Aloy. Understood. We go to the next point of the agenda, which is the TOT presentation sessions. The first person presenter that we have today is Mr. Mike Crenshaw, talking about hip hop culture. It's from USA. Then Mr. Mike, if you are there, it's over to you. You have the floor. Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike? Oh, he's no more around. Okay. Okay. If Mr. Mike is not there, then we go to the next person. The next person was supposed to be Mr. I don't know, Winfred. I cannot see Winfred also. Yeah, I can't see Winfred on the board. Okay. Then Mr. Samson is there. Then we go to Mr. Samson because the first two people are not around. Mr. Mike has just left. I can't see Winfred too, but Mr. Samson is there. And he's supposed to be the last presenter. Since he's the last or the person that we can see on the chart, and we're going to give him the floor to do his presentation. Mr. Samson, if you are ready to do your presentation, then over to you.
Thank you very much, Nioma, for allowing me to do at least a presentation on what I'm supposed to be doing. That is the community partnership and collaboration.
We seem to have lost Samson in both the audio and video. He's frozen.
I'll quickly send him a message and see if he's able to connect.
Yeah, he just finished, dropped off the call.
Okay. Let me just call him in quickly. Send.
Then he also has a connection problem.
I'm Lucha, are you able to connect again? We lost you on the call?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm trying to do that.
All right. We'll wait for you then. Thank you. Okay. He's reconnecting.
Perfect. Be good to have at least one presentation today.
Yes, that'll be good. Through the chair, if I may, I'm raising my hand before I get in trouble. Thank you. I see Prof. Lloyd made a point about, obviously we're ignoring Halloween, but what other day is it again today, Professor Lloyd? I saw that. What day is it? Sorry,
So today is World Cities Day.
Okay.
So that I had mentioned as well during the IGU Summit. I actually put into the chat all of the information about that. If people want to save the chat, there are links to the various websites for the UN Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat, as well as the New Urban Agenda. And so this is a program, the World Cities Day, that's fairly recent. It just started, I believe, in 2015 or so.
Okay.
So this is a new day. There are many UN days that are fairly new over the last 5 or 10 years, even just some in the last couple of years that were created, and this is one of them that's only been around, I believe, 7 years. So we are promoting through our Unity network this UN Habitat New Urban Agenda, which started in October 2016 at the Habitat 3 conference in Quito, which is in Peru. So this new framework of development, which we're trying to move forward. So we're not just focusing on food security for rural communities and indigenous peoples, but also for cities around the world. Hence our focus on things like vertical farming and relocalization of all our livelihood capabilities at the local level wherever we are. Of course, cities, one thing that is noted by UN Habitat is that cities make up around 55% of the world's population right now, expected to be 70% by 2050, which means the vast majority of people will be likely living in cities. And how can cities feed themselves? This is going to be one of the greatest challenges, I think, of our lifetimes and the lifetimes of our children and grandchildren moving forward. They absolutely, unequivocally need to know how to do this, what we're trying to teach through these Unity Garden Learning Centers. And it has to be delivered in partnership with all these schools. And they need hands-on, and they need to know. Otherwise, we're going to have potentially millions, hundreds of millions, or even billions of people who are unable to feed themselves in future decades, especially as global warming makes conventional agriculture almost impossible in some places of the world. With the way we're farming today and the supply chain issues, especially related to energy and the conventional way of farming with tractors. We're really in a crunch here right now. Doesn't help that people like Mr. Putin and Russia are cutting off supply chains from critical areas like Ukraine.
And thank you. If through the chair, if I may comment, I see Mr. Sampson is opening his presentation and he's back.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I'm one of the people who purely advocates or strongly advocates for people who are in the cities, particularly the marginalized communities of the cities. And I think because that's the only life I know. I mean, I was born in the city, studied in the city, grew up in the city. But my focus has always been on the psychosocial impact of what it means to growing up or being a city person, you know. So, but I'll discuss with you and maybe Dr. Carlos, because it would be good to explore some presentation on the broad, what it means to be a city person, you know, not just in terms of obviously food security, you have no land, you can't plant, you can't, obviously there are those solutions, but also the whole dependency on industrialization and seeking of jobs, you know, and what that has, the impact it has on a human spirit, because the human spirit is used to going out there and doing things and farming and hunting. Now you can't hunt, you can't farm. So that means people start hunting within themselves, and that contributes towards high levels of crimes in the cities, because people still want to hunt. So they hunt amongst each other. So yeah, and the whole concept of the VVCs is based on vulnerable communities that are in the marginal spaces of the cities. Anyway, thank you for that. We can always explore a presentation of some sort.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Mr. Samson is back. Yeah, go ahead.
His presentation is opening. That's it.
Yes.
Dr. Carlos, it's always good to see you.
Mr. Samson?
Yes, I'm there, but I'm trying to open my presentation, sir, please.
Okay.
Just
okay.
give me, sorry for this kind of delay.
No, it's okay. Through the chair again.
So Samson, can you maybe share your presentation so that we fasten the process?
Yeah.
If you can share it with the communication team, that's fine. And that has been repeatedly so that we reduce the loss of time, the valuable time.
Through the chair, maybe you can forward it to Mr. Lloyd.
So can the communication team handle that one? Juliet, can you do the presentation? Can you share that one? I can also do it, of course, and Lloyd and
okay.
And Juliet. Juliet, you are responsible. It's your area.
Yeah. Yes, but it hasn't been shared with me. Has it been shared with me?
I know.
Samson, are you able to share it?
Can you share it so that we help you?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, sir, directly to you. Already sharing it.
If you can share it to the group, that's fine. Just share it to UnityNet, the board. Then we can take it from there so that all of us will be able to access it.
Have you seen it?
Where have you sent it, Mr. Oluch?
Have you shared it?
Yes, but the network, the problem is the network with me here, please. Sorry for that.
We know you're struggling, yes. Yeah.
Mr. Olush, if I may ask you, don't you have maybe another form, maybe pictorials through which you can use to present maybe pictures? Because I mean, you know the content of your project work quite well. Is that not possible?
Is it from your computer or from your phone?
It is my computer, and it is, I think there is a bad network. That is the problem. I'm trying to send it, and it is rolling.
Do you have it on your phone?
I don't have it on my phone. I
right.
have it. I want to try and see whether it will.
All right. So meanwhile, Lloyd, can we explore in the topical area that you're discussing, that you are saying?
Yeah. So right now there are some.
Yes. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. So right now there are a few initiatives going on here in Canada. So we are, we just had a municipal election. So we have a number of municipal candidates that were just elected or re-elected in our community. So we're moving forward here to develop our own local INAP collaborative team. And with that, I am having conversations with some of the candidates who didn't win, as well as some of the people that got elected or re-elected. And so we're going to see if we can move forward in conversations around the establishment of our own first UnityNet INAB collaborative, and then of course moving forward to demonstrate and build a Unity Garden Learning Center, of course, which we'll want to twin with others in Africa, ideally. And so, again, as I said to you, Carlos, I do want to have a conversation as well with this gentleman I connected to that I've known for many, many years, who's in the far eastern part of Sierra Leone. He's quite interested in establishing some kind of eco village, and so the idea would be that we could potentially connect east to west all across Sierra Leone, from Freetown to this community on the east of the country, and then establish a network of eco-village learning centers in all those different communities. And of course, that would be the first starting point, hopefully, for Africa, where we can then ideally have a network of such types of eco-villages across the continent. Of course, we're looking at future years, but we start with engaging, and this is actually the work that I'm trying to do here in the Greater Toronto area, we engage with our elected leaders. We engage with the Rotary Club. We engage with the various local NGOs. We engage with the schools. We create these INAP collaboratives that support our entrepreneurs, who are hopefully young people in those schools who are wanting to become entrepreneurs. And so we want to empower them to start building and establishing their own community business, these cooperatives that can deliver the programs at the Unity Garden Learning Centers. So that's the concept, is that we want to establish our own eco-villages here, whether it's through transformation of existing communities or in some cases green fields, where somebody, for instance, buys a farm and then transforms that farm into an eco-village, where at the heart of the eco-village is a UnityNet, Unity Learning Garden that partners with the local universities and colleges and high schools and other existing organizations in that community or around that community, as well as partners, of course, through the Global Sister Schools program with all these different schools around the world, and where we can connect all these young people to the learning programs that are being delivered through either UnityNet Africa Diaspora or any one of our UnityNet continental or country chapters. So they can start learning about all these solutions, but also learning about the cultural collaborations that can happen as we move forward. And they can learn dancing, they can learn music, they can learn sports and entertainment, and really create dynamic spaces in our communities, whether it's urban or rural. And that's the idea, is that we really want to engage these young people in learning about not just the solutions, but also the cultural elements that are so important for them, for their own spiritual and emotional well-being and mental well-being. Because we're in a tough time right now, and if we're not positive about this, we're pretty much doomed. Because we're facing challenges that are just seem insurmountable. So if we don't lift ourselves out of this crisis of I guess this is what Stephanie Schiller is always mentioning, this crisis of people giving up on themselves and giving up on their communities and not knowing that there are ways forward. And we need to continuously stay positive and say, look, there are solutions, we just need to implement them, which means raising funding, which is really what we're trying to do here in the Americas and in Europe and other so-called developed countries that have so many members of this UN Global Compact, which is the network that says, the network of businesses and organizations that says we're going to put in trillions of dollars to help achieve these sustainable development goals and to help achieve this climate and deliver climate action, so we can achieve at least a 1.5 degree world, or perhaps a 2 degree world. So they said they've committed to say, yes, we're gonna invest in these solutions, but we need them to understand that they also need to be investing in all of these marginalized communities as well, because those marginalized people can learn. They have brains, they have hands, they can be put to work to empower themselves, to lift themselves out of poverty. We just need to build that infrastructure, build those business ecosystems, create those community organizations that will really be able to allow them to build and operate the local community solutions that allow them to thrive without needing handouts or charitable donations. So this is the concept of regenerative development financing that we're trying to also demonstrate through this network as well, which is a new concept, but we are introducing that concept as we move forward through our IGU summits, which are, of course, are every Thursday. But we want to see if we can engage with those corporations, especially those corporations that have their head offices here in North America, here in Canada, here in Toronto. We're going to plant a youth peace garden with them. We're going to engage with them in the conversation. We're going to get them on board to say, yeah, we want to invest in these communities. We want to invest in people. We want to invest in the next generation so they know what they're doing. So they can help us also succeed as a business, succeed as a corporation, succeed as a human being, as we all move together to try to achieve these goals, which are intended to leave no one behind. And so this is the challenge of a lifetime to try to do this, of course, but it all comes down to partnerships. If we can partner with the corporations, if we can partner with the governments at whatever level, if we can partner with the NGOs, if we can partner with the finance, if we can partner with service organizations like Rotary, like Lions Club, like YMCA, and all of these organizations in our local communities. If we can partner with even the airports, right? Partner with those companies, even the mining companies, who are members of the UN Global Compact, who say, yes, we want to implement the goals. They've committed to it already. We're not encouraging them to become members. They already are. So we just need to engage with them in the conversations and say, look, we want to empower everybody. But we're going to have to do it one community at a time. And we need to organize ourselves. That's number one. And that's the most critical role that UnityNet Africa and Diaspora needs to be doing, is organizing themselves so they are ready for those investments. When we do have those conversations with those corporations and those governments and those entities that say, yes, we're going to put in $130 trillion by 2030. It's a vast amount of money, more than anybody can even imagine. And it's going to go to those organizations that are ready to take it. If it's not us, we're not ready to do that, then we'll just be left in the dust and forgotten, which is where we don't want to be. So I encourage all to learn from people like Lisa Anise, to learn from our community members who are trying to help us move this beyond just these conversations into the real infrastructure we need to be building and the real community-based business organizations that we need to be building as well. Those cooperative community learning, unity learning centers that we want to build are the examples of what we hopefully will need to be doing to everywhere in every local community. If we're ever going to get past this whole stage of development of achieving sustainable development, but also helping to move us beyond sustainable development toward this, what we call a compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that leaves no one behind, a productive one that generates income for communities, for people, for organizations, that's ideally self-financing, where we can have our own structures of financing and self-finance the solutions for ourselves. That's one of the biggest challenges, of course, and we'll need seed funding to do that. We need to be organized so that we have organizations that investors can come to and say, yes, we want to invest in these solutions. We want to demonstrate these with you. But it's going to be a matter of being able to say, yes, we are working together. We are solid in our mission and goals. So as we move forward, I'm going to try to my best from where I am. I hope everybody works from wherever they are to make sure that we are coming together as one human family. So Juliet, perhaps you had a few words. I see your hand is up as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was raising my hand because I totally concur and appreciate your submission, as it's normally said, and to also say that with everything that's happening around us, we do need to shift our focus to more positive energies, or things that are positive. I always use an example of a case where, if in a household there's been a death, as an example, what then happens is the adults, they know when they plan the logistics, they plan, sorry to use that example, they plan the funeral. It's like that's where things are in the world. Yet the general community and children still continue. I mean, children will still dance and play games. So in the spirit of how we are as human beings, while we are organizing ourselves, and that's what we've done as One Soweto, to say we are coming in as different organizations to find a solution. As we are organizing ourselves, even as UNED and other organizations, to find strategic ways of dealing with the world problems, let's keep the inverted commas, the children playing. Let's keep let's make people to have a reason to look forward to waking up, because the war is global, but it's actually not, at times it's not, it doesn't have to kill the human spirit. So I totally agree with you that we need to keep the human spirit going while we organize to find funding and to find solutions, so what you are describing will really, as you say, it's going to happen in Sierra Leone, and I think partnering with other countries are you thinking about South Africa as well. We need to work on partnerships to keep the momentum happening and keeping a positive human spirit.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention again that South Africa is extremely important for this network, because it is a G20 member.
Yeah.
Members of the G20, this is where the head offices of all these corporations are. So in South Africa, I'm sure that most of the UN Global Compact members have their head offices probably in South Africa, or perhaps in Egypt, or perhaps in some of those big cities. Again, the focus on cities. But the focus for us, for instance, here in Toronto, is to partner with those UN Global Compact members who are members of UN Global Compact Canada, who have their head offices in Toronto, or in Ottawa, or in Calgary, or in Vancouver, or in Montreal, and start planting trees of peace and reconciliation with them, and plant a youth peace garden with them, and then engage them in this conversation so they understand that this is what we're trying to do. So they have the money, they have the investments, and they can say, well, absolutely, we want to make sure that we're living up to their commitment, to our commitments to achieving those SDGs, because they've said they're going to put in the investments. I think they just don't know where to put it at this point in time. If we have shovel-ready projects in Soweto, in Sierra Leone, in Kenya, in Nigeria, in all of these countries, where we say, look, all we need is the funding. We have the teams, we have the entrepreneurs, they're ready. They have the projects. We know what we want to do.
Yes.
We just need the money.
Yeah. Thank you. True.
Juliet, can you try to share for me, please?
Yes, I'm trying to open.
Perhaps Susan wanted to say a few words. I see her hand is up.
Yes, we haven't seen her in a while.
Yes.
Well, I haven't. Sorry.
Yes, just a minute. I would like to just a comment. This is just a comment. My comment is that as I joined in, I heard what Professor Loy mentioned, the advantages or privileges of partnering with other organizations, especially if you're heading an organization. It is you can't really make it alone. It's good to partner because you can put your inputs and if you partner with another organization, they come in and put in their input, and together you are going to achieve much. It may not also be in terms of money. It could be in terms of empowerment. For example, in Kenya, we do have that great need of university students, both boys and girls. When they have graduated, they don't have employment. Yeah. And we could be having an organization. That is willing to train the youth, let's say in field like ICT, integration of ICT in business, ICT in agriculture. And yet here there's an organization that has the youth ready to learn. And here when they come to partner together, they have the resources and they can actually combine resources, this organization and the other organization, and they can come in and the youth will benefit. So it's very important, vital. We have the Lions Club, we have the Roundtable, we have the Eqity organization, and many other organizations that can. And when we partner 235 that belongs to Samson or Watch, that's another organization. And when we partner together, we can do much, we can achieve much. Thank you so much for the advice, Professor Loy, and even
just wanted to say very quickly that that's actually the reason we have the interns network, because we would like to leverage that network in order to bring young people into that network, but also bring, again, those corporations, those companies that may be looking for people to hire. And we can prepare those young people to make sure they're job ready, make sure they have a good resume, make sure they have some skills and qualifications that are ready to, and they've been mentored by some elders. So we want to connect the young people and the elders and the corporations and the people that are ready to really create these jobs in the local communities as well. But then also, of course, there's the entrepreneurship side. So we want entrepreneurs to be mentors, so they have that entrepreneurial spirit and entrepreneurial mindset as well.
Okay. Sorry, I've tried to share. I don't know if you're seeing it. Are you seeing the presentation?
I'm seeing Different Drum, Community Making and Peace. This book is.
Can you scroll it up where it starts so that we are able to continue from there?
Okay.
Please.
Is that okay?
That is okay.
Yeah.
Might want to maximize the screen.
Okay.
So it's as large as possible.
Okay. Because he's only talked through it. I thought I maximized because it relevant display. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm using okay, that's the biggest it can go. Samson.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So I'm very sorry, brothers and sisters, professors and doctors in the house, for the delay and network challenge. And also my laptop was hanging a lot. I'm very sorry for that. But I just made something small to share with us today for the purpose of community partnership and collaborations. And this is a very vital key, and this is a very important subject that all of us, we need to be very keen, because this is one of the things that has moved me to a greater level of global organizations and networking with different organizations. So as I said, I am Samson Olwoch, the founder and the executive director of Bridges of Hope organization, the official advisor of UNAD, and also a board member of SOS Fellowship. What is also missing there is that I am also a board member of Agricotons, that is agricultural initiatives across globe, especially with the European Union Investment Bank. I'm also a member of World Bank East Africa Project Advisors. I was just nominated the other day, that was last month, and we are in a training stage, and I'm completing my training this week, Friday, whereby I'll be engaged in organizations across East Africa in project management and implementations. World Bank is doing a great work across East Africa. It is working with organizations in partnership and collaborations to elevate poverty among African community. So that is what God has given us. That is the opportunity that God has brought along, partnership and also collaborations. Now, maybe to say something on this, I will just give a brief some of definitions and some of explanation and the importance of partnership and collaborations. The definition of community: one community subscribed to the living of the highest good of all, a commitment to helping each other, demonstrate unconditional love for one another, and supporting the constant growth and improvement of ourselves, each other, and our global environment. We call this true community, and capitalize community through our side, because this version of community is a combination of all our values that combined to function and celebration of human diversity and profound healing, communication, creation that comes from living in such an environment dedicate to this. What I mean by this is whereby all of us, for all our good, we come together to helping each other, demonstrate unconditional love, supporting one another, growing together, living in one environment, knowing each other, and working together as a team. In Bridges of Hope right now, I have mobilized in my community, that is Homa Bay County, I have mobilized 300 self-help groups and 26 CBOs that are working under Bridges of Hope. All these self-help groups and community-based organizations are working together towards partnership and collaborations. We are doing a lot of activities. There are youth programs, there are women programs, there are men programs, there are older people programs, there is the educational programs, there are agricultural programs, there is also ICT and development programs, and we are teaching one another. We learned one thing, that if I'm doing agriculture and the other person is doing education, there is a co-relationship. There is that the person that is focusing on education needs from the person that focus on agriculture, and vice versa. So I realized that in such an environment, this dedicate oneself and all of us comes together as human diversity, that profound the healing and communication, creation that comes from living. We live together. If we communicate to each other, we heal one another. Then also the human beings are in touch of one another. True and genuine community is the art and practice of being our most loving, open, and authentic selves, while we honor others doing the same. True community is whereby we have to know, even even if I am living in that community, the other person is also there. So we are open to one another through love, on authentic self, of honor, of others of the same kind. So we say, I love the part where Juliet was introducing herself and she was saying that they are also focusing on male child, on boy child, on male being, that we are not leaving the boy child behind, even if we are doing the girl child. In one way or the other in a society, the society needs both boy child and girl child. In one way, we are promoting women programs. We have to know in our minds that the society also need man. Women cannot stay alone. That is why if you come to the groups that we are working with, I have told them, even if you are 28 women, we need at least 2 or 3 men, because we need to partner together and we need to work together. And one day a woman asked me, why do we need men in our organization, and yet we want to do women activities? Then I told them, what if I brought you 120 kg of a machine? Then all of you will say, we cannot carry this. At the end of the day, you need a man that will carry that. So even if we are promoting women activity, we need men to carry the heavy loads. Even if we are promoting the men programs, we need women in the in their midst to cook for them and also to help them do other things. Scroll as we move. Okay. This creates, yes, this creates, sorry
about that.
Yeah.
Can I stop here?
Yes, stop there. Okay. This creates an environment. This creates an environment that specifically caters to fulfillment of the 6 primary human needs and is fundamental and is a foundational to the emotional aspect of sustainability for the complete human experience. Dr. M. Scott Park did an extensive research on the difference between traditional community and in this idea of true community in his book titled The Different Drum, Community Making and Peace. This book is required reading for all one community pioneer, as we support the foundational tenets of true community outlined within it. Here, they are 6 parts as on words. So there are things that there are 6, but there are some words that there are others that have added, but there are 6 that actually gives the primary human needs and is the foundational to the emotional aspect of sustainability for complete human experience. There is that complete human experience. Wherever you work, wherever you are going there, you will realize that partnership is something that is very important, because even if you have a multi-million organization, you need a 1 shillings or a 1 coin organization so that your activities will be complete and will be outlined and also will reach to the community, because we need to work with people from the higher level to the bottom level of life. So there are 6 human needs that need to be met. This is whereby we need one another, we need leadership, we need those who will carry the vision, we need those who will support the vision, we need also those who will say, okay, we were doing the peanut butter and we didn't have the market. There are organizations with cooperatives and also with societies and circles. There are organizations that are doing the marketing. So what do we need to do? We need to collaborate with them. With us, we do the production. With them, they do for us the marketing. With us, we do the production. With them, they do for us the market research. So you will find that it rotates. There is a production and the circles continue. So at the end of the day, you will not sit down with your products and you say, we lack the market. I was in some groups today. Today, on a daily basis, I visit not less than 10 groups of 30 members each. And I was in a group today and they were asking me, if you bring for us traditional vegetables, what will happen at the end of the day if we lack the market? I told them, see, I have a group in Kisumu that is doing the marketing. I have another one that needs for other production. So the only thing that I will do for you is to connect you to that group, then you collaborate, you do the production, and then at the end of the day, they do the marketing for you. Then you will sell your products at a good time. Let's scroll as we move. I'm just about to conclude.
Okay, apologies.
Yes.
Is it okay? Should I continue?
Yes.
Stop here?
Yes, that is okay.
All right.
I talked about some words that are very key in this. Number one thing that is very key in community partnership and collaboration. There is inclusivity, commitment, and consensus. Members accept and embrace each other, celebrating their individuality and transcending their differences. They commit themselves to the effort and the people involved. They make decisions and reconcile their differences through consensus. You will realize that, number one, when you bring the communities together, when I was doing a launching with the different groups, around 30, 40 groups when I was starting, when they came together, I realized that one is doing a different value chain, another one is doing a different value chain, another one is doing a different value chain. But when I brought them together, they realized they are coming from the same village, they are coming from the one community. Now they are inclusive in a given pot whereby they produce and they cannot lack. Then people started to say, okay, if that group in Uganda needs this, then we have to be committed. So there is commitment of a highest order because they want to ensure that they have enough production. Then they talk. When there are differences, they come to consensus and they agree together and they say, okay, if you needed 5, now we can produce this so that we can fit your needs. Number 2, realism. There is a reality. Members bring together multiple perspectives to better understand the whole, sorry
about that. Okay, sorry.
Realism, that is reality. Members bring together multiple perspectives to better understanding the whole context of solutions. I want to give example with Professor Lloyd. If you look at the different platforms that he has been opening, there is that for sports, there is that for agriculture, there is that for health, so many things. But under UnityNet, you will see if my vision is for health, I will go straight to health because that platform has been created. So there is a reality. There are things that I will get from there. So in community partnership and collaborations, it brings a reality to the community where members bring together multiple perspectives to better understand the whole context of the situation. Decisions are more well-rounded and humble rather than one-sided and arrogant. People talk and they agree. Number 3, contemplation. Members examine themselves. They are individual and collective, self-aware of the world. Outside.
So I'm being distracted here.
Okay, sorry. outside themselves, the world inside themselves, and the relationship between the two. What is the meaning of this? You'll realize at the end of the day, there is something that they will realize that, okay, if those people are able to make this, then this is how the world is. We have to do something. So they will realize that the world is outside themselves and they are also inside the world. So they are able to get to understand one another. Then a safe place, a safe place. Members allow others to share their vulnerable, heal themselves, and express who they truly are. So if there is a community partnership, for example, now the way we are talking in UNAD, and also the way we are discussing things, we come from different organizations and we have different perspective. We will realize that what I'm doing, Juliet is doing it in South Africa. Somebody is doing it in Tanzania. Another person is doing a different thing in Uganda. Now we come, we share our knowledge, we share our vulnerability, we heal ourselves, we agree to one another, we agree to other points. And the most important thing is that we will realize that we are able to mobilize resources for our goal. Number 5, as we continue, a laboratory. Thank you, Juliet.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me scroll further down.
Okay. Number 5, a laboratory. A laboratory.
Did I scroll too much?
Yes, it's okay. That is okay. A laboratory for personal. A laboratory for personal measurement. You are blocking for me, please. Can you? Yes, it's okay. A laboratory for personal measurement. Members experientially discover the rules for peacemaking and embrace the virtues. They feel and express compassion and respect each other as fellow human beings. Now, if we have a strong community partnership and collaboration, you will realize that each and every time, if you realize that Samson has got a weakness, you come to Samson, you discuss, you try to bring him closer with a lot of peace. And at the end of the day, these people will embrace the virtue of collaboration. They will feel and express compassion. There is that love, there is that truthness, there is that growth, there is that modeling, there is that role model in community partnership. Because you will say, if I have a football team and somebody is having some engineering or machineries, they can come, we can partner together, they come and make for us a pitch. You are ready to share. There are a lot of things that we'll share. At the end of the day, you will feel that we are human beings. We are able to collaborate and talk to one another. Number 6, a group that can fight gracefully. A group that can fight gracefully. Members resolve conflict with wisdom and grace. They listen and understand, respect each other, gift, accept each other, limitations, celebrate their differences, bind each other wounds, commit to struggle together. Sorry, you need to scroll for me. So a group that can fight, if for example, when I was trying to explain whereby we share, we grow, we commit and struggle together rather than against each other. In community collaboration, there is we don't fight against each other, but we struggle together. We commit ourselves. We heal our wounds together. We talk to one another. We appreciate one another. In community collaboration, when you come to me, you will tell me, Samson, I cannot do this. Please help me. I cannot move this mountain. Please come and join me. I have this. I've been doing this. How can we collaborate together? In which area are we able to grow together? So at the end of the day, you will realize that we are able to commit ourselves, to struggle together, heal our wounds together, work together, learn together, grow together, fight the battle together. But we are not fighting against each other. So number 7, a group of all leaders. Members harness the fellow of leadership to make decisions, and that leads to make decisions, and set course of action. It is the spirit of community itself that leads, not any single individual behind. So it is not me as Samson. I am not going alone. For example, when I started community partnership, it was in my heart to bring so many self-help groups, and my target with my board is to bring over 30,000 in the next 2 years, over 30,000 women in our village in one pool with different organizations and with different self-help groups, so that they can focus on agriculture, they can focus on cooperatives, they can focus on entrepreneurship, they can focus on growing our community together. And in the next five years, we want to raise 50,000 youths who are able to form different community cooperatives, which is going to focus on agriculture, sports, and ICT to build the community together. So that is where all the leaders are required to make decisions. It is not one mind. It is not Samson that is running with the mantle. No. It is not 2 people. It is a group of people. When we work like that, at the end of the day, we win the battle. Number 8, and that is my last point, a spirit. There is a heart. There is a machine. Community partnership and collaboration is a spirit. It is a machine. It is a heart. It is a boat that can take one community to a higher level, that can bring peace to the community. It can bring power to the nation. It can bring wisdom to the nation and even to the continental. If the UNAD can focus that, okay, what we want to do, all the organizations which are on board, we want to bring them together for collaboration and partnership. Whether I am doing education and the other person is doing fishing, in one way or the other, we will bind together, because education and fishing or any other thing, you'll realize that it needs one another, because that person needs to train people. And if you want to train people, you need a TOT, you need a teacher or a trainer of trainers, somebody who can go there and give them some knowledge and learning. So the true spirit of community is the spirit of peace, love, wisdom, and power. Members may view the source of this spirit as outgrowth of the collective self, or as the manifestation of a higher will. They might have different views and different things, or different imaginations. But one thing that we have to know, that a true community, communities that will come together, they will join hands together, they will collaborate together, and they will bring their minds together. What they are promoting is the spirit of peace, the spirit of love, the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit of power. And where there is peace, where there is love, where there is wisdom, and where there is power, always there is success. At the end of the day, there is victory. You will win the battle. So that is what I wanted to share with us today. And finally, mark this at the back of your mind. I've majorly talked about the community, and my topic was community, partnership, and collaboration. What is community, which I'm talking about? Because I did not give the exact definition. I only gave some vocabularies about it. The community is the organizations that exist in the whole world, or a given nation, or a given environment. So if they join together, they form a community, and whatever they hold on the ball, that is what the people, the people who are living there needs. Whatever project that they are doing, different communities are doing, different organizations that forms the community is doing. That is what the people that are living in those areas needs. God bless you. God bless us. We believe, and I believe as the director and the founder of Bridges of Hope community-based organization, that we are able to build more and more and more and more communities to foster the spirit of peace, love, wisdom, and power that will bring success to the whole world. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Samson, for this wonderful topic that you developed here. So it is really
Frankie, your voice is down. Can you press up your voice?
I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
It's very faint. Try and speak up, please. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
It's very faint. Please try, come closer or something.
Hello?
It's better now.
It's better now, right? Can you hear me?
It's better.
Okay, thank you so much. So, and I say what, thank you, Mr. Samson, for this topic that you developed here. It is really productive. So we really appreciate it. Then thank you so much. Thank you for the great work that you did. Now we are going to we go to the next point, which is that is Q&A. As a questions and answers, or some, if you have some amendments, then you can also come in, or you can kindly raise your hand to ask some questions. Or if you have, you have something to comment, you can also comment. So we are now at that point. Yes, I can see Juliet.
Yeah, sorry,
ahead.
before Juliet, before
Yeah.
you say something, I just want to say this.
Yeah.
I just want to remind all of us that we don't have so much time. So we have to wrap up within the next 5 or 10 minutes. So in our discussion, whatever we are going to do, let us ensure that it's within that frame. Okay.
Okay, you make it short.
Yes. No, thank you. It's actually going to be just 2 points or 1 point with a comma. Thank you again, Chair, and thank you, Mr. President. The point I wanted, and thank you, Reverend Samson, for the presentation. I just wanted to highlight the issue of and I mean, I fully agree with you in the principles that you shared, but also wanted to highlight the issue of the involvement of women, and highlight that in African culture and continuously, women have always participated. So to get women to participate has never been a problem. And in a case where we do involve let's say, men as well, we must remember that we must not disempower women, because we still need to change the culture where women need to know that they must still continue and be productive members of society. So women empowerment needs to continue, because we still have about 500 years that we need to fix inequalities in our communities. And I wanted to mention the fact that we need to have communities need to have shared vision and shared values, because a lot of communities can work together, but when there's no shared vision in terms of what everyone wants for the community, because people tend to want things for themselves. So there needs to be a shared vision for the community and shared values, where we know that there's no corruption, there's Ubuntu, we hold hands, we look out for each other, or everything that you've mentioned, Mrs. Samson. But it all starts with a shared vision, because a community that doesn't have a shared vision is never able to work together properly. But thank you again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam. Thank you so much. Yeah, who else? Yes, who else want to say something?
Professor Lloyd has his hand up. I don't know if you can see it. And
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So now it's very loud. No. So I just dropped in some information into the chat with relation to both the Fashion Cultural Exchange Network. I think that is another avenue by which we can establish these collaborations between our communities culturally, and understand each other's cultures much better through fashion. And I think that's where women can also take a lead in a lot of these conversations. So the Fashion Cultural Exchange Network, I think, could be a critical network as well, to try to boost up and do something through that network, some kind of event. And what I'm hoping to do is actually engage the members of that network, especially to begin thinking about UnityNet, the Sunlight Spectacle event coming up in 2023. So this was actually where we started our journey, was with Sunlight Spectacle 2020, where we began with the Trees of Peace and Reconciliation tree planting ceremony in Toronto and Bermuda, at the crossroads of the Atlantic, where those two trees are twinned. And so that was connecting Africa to Asia during a solar eclipse. And again, you can see in my last post, thetimeanddate.com, there is an eclipse in October 14th, specifically 2023. So in about 2 years, or sorry, in about 1 year, I should say, from now, because it is the end of October 2022. So in about 1 year, so we can now think about what we can do, and I'd like to see if we can leverage especially the Fashion Cultural Exchange network and really get them recognized, so we can begin creating these celebrations. And this is, I think, the words that Juliet came up with around celebrating our diversity as a way for us to come together to understand each other. And I think that those two things coming together with the Sunlight Spectacle Organizing Committee being done through the Fashion Cultural Exchange Network, we can really do something where it's not just about food, it's not just about dancing, it's not just about sports, but it's also about something we all share. We all wear clothes. And we express ourselves through our clothing. And I think that's really important to recognize that as well. So it's music, it's sports, it's dancing, it's food, it's culture of all kinds. And that is reflected as well through our clothing. And I think Africa has an enormous wealth of cultural expression through their clothing as well, that we should recognize and make sure that our local communities are especially so many indigenous communities of Africa. I think the number was something like 3,000 different indigenous tribes across the continent that should also be recognized for their contribution to our diversity as a human species. Thank you.
Chair?
Go ahead, Juliet, we can hear.
Yes, I wanted to say that that's the reason why, and I'm glad Thapelo was able to join. I don't know if you see him there in the group. He's one of the young men that we work with and that I'm starting to mentor in various areas. He works in the fashion space, so I'm hoping that I can get him involved in the fashion and cultural network. So I don't know, maybe he wants to say a word to that. Not to that, but just to introduce himself and to say what he does around fashion and brands, because we do need to brand some of the cultural work and other clothing brands. Thapelo, do you want to greet at least?
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Thapelo Murakuma. I'm one of the young South Africans that I'm being mentored by Miss Juliet. And as she's already said, that I'm under the fashion scheme of things. And yeah, I've just been playing around with different materials just to try see what is durable, what is flexible for different trying to play around with material basically to see what can be durable for a longer period for different aspects of uses of clothes, from sports to your casual, formal, and so forth. So yeah, without being too lengthy, that is basically, yeah, who I am. Thanks.
Thank you, Thapelo. Thank you, Chair, for allowing that introduction.
Yeah, so the other aspect to this, of course, is how can we produce this kind of durable clothing in our own local communities and create industry around this. And so this is an important part of the conversation. It's not just about the cultural expression. It's about let's produce this stuff that is unique to our own community. And then you hopefully then attract tourism as a result of showcasing your uniqueness within the human family.
That's true. If I may say, especially in the light that the world is inundated with everything being made in China, and most of the time it's of extremely low quality. You know that there's no guarantee on anything you buy that says made in China most of the time. So people like Thapelo would then come in that space where we're looking at cultural wear, but then what material are we using? Will it last? Because Kente clothes, some that I bought, I know about 30 years ago, I still have it. But now the version that you find now, you can't even wait for 3 months, So that's one of the spaces and areas that he could get involved in areas of quality control and looking and exploring material, looking at natural material, looking at hemp and other materials is in this context. But that's what Samson Oluchi was speaking about, collaboration across countries, communities, and working together for a common good. So this is a good example of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's absolutely something we should be looking at in terms of how we can also leverage this network we have built around food in other areas of endeavors where we can especially showcase our own talents and diversities and build upon this so that we're really contributing to our own community development, but also for other communities that are perhaps being left behind.
Mhm. Exactly.
So I think we are running behind time. We can summarize this meeting now. Over to you, Leno. Let's have a close of this meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you, President.
Thank you, Carlos.
Leno, can you close this meeting?
Okay.
I'm seeing Samson has his hand up. Did you want a few last
Juliet, can you close
remarks?
this meeting today?
Okay. Samson, do you need to say something, or I need to close the meeting? Do you want?
I wanted to speak on what you are speaking, but I think we, because the chair has spoken, just go on and close the meeting.
Maybe we give you 2 minutes, just maybe 1.5 minutes to round up.
Okay.
Yeah. What I wanted to say on what Juliet and Professor Carlos was mentioning, in fact, I wanted to mention that that is one of the key things, Lloyd, sorry, Professor Lloyd, sorry, is one of the key thing that the World Bank is really looking. Right now, I have a widows group of 75 women that is promoting a market-oriented value chain on clothing and cultural design, which is going to be one of the things that they're going to promote. And this coming December, we shall be having a cultural event where all the ladies and all the women are going to showcase the types of clothes and the type of design that they can make from the traditional cloth design, and also from the fashions that are also coming from the West world. So this is one of the things that is very important if we focus on, because we realized in one way or the other that in our community where we are coming from, we have a tourist site, and if this is worked on, the World Bank promised that they will be giving some funds if they can build a site for themselves closer to the tourist site, whereby when the people are now coming in, they are able to see the different design of cultural clothes. We have the bed sheet, we have the sheets for the table, we have the necklace, we have also the ring, the earrings, we have the rings for the hands, whereby people can come and then they see, watch, and see what they're able to do, which is made from the materials and the clothes and the traditional things. So I give you a clap for that. And I know this is the best project that can promote this. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know if you are part of that group, but I think you should also join or get one of the ladies, one of the women, to be part of that cultural exchange group as well. Okay, please, thank you, Mr. Oluch. And then firstly, let me thank everyone for having taken the time to join the meeting. I know we all are very busy, but this has to be a norm and be part of our business, because we all have to build Africa and come up with regenerative solutions towards the development of Africa. And before, I want to thank Dr. Carlos, the Continental President, and thank the whole committee, including the Deputy Secretary General who was hosting us. And also specifically thank the people who are on the group, Madam Atama from Nigeria. Continue doing the work that you do in empowering women, and also let's see how that can factor in the different projects that are done. And Mr. Oluchi, and the work that you do in Kenya, and not just in Kenya, and also in other countries as we continue to collaborate and bring various communities together. Madam Yego, your work and your passion in Kenya is also noted, and I'm glad you raised the issue of students who are unemployed, because that's one of the biggest problems we have in this country. But this meeting, I will speak to you about a project that is happening, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. That Professor Lloyd would also look at in our other networks, how we deal with unemployed graduates. Unfortunately, Riziki is also not available. Professor Lloyd, as always, thank you for contextualizing and coming with specific solutions to everything that we discuss. And the links you always share on the groups are very helpful, especially for people who are new. Tapelo, thank you for joining in. And I'm glad that you came in at the point where we're discussing something that is also close to the work that we do. I hope, and let me also thank the Andrew Network for always being there to connect us. But most importantly, let us please encourage each other and encourage our other associates. Professor Lloyd, I'm closing the meeting. Unless you're going to pray. Let's please encourage our other associates to come back and join the UNET, so that we keep up the spirit of developing Africa and also finding global partnerships and networks, because UnityNet International and UNET are one, and we all need to reconnect, please. And I'd like to thank everyone again. And also I'm going to thank myself for squeezing and making sure I've made the time. Thank you, and I honor the global continental president, no, the continental president of UNET. But this is supposed to be closure, and by protocol, I'm supposed to allow the president to say a word, but I see Professor Lloyd wants to close in prayer. Continue, Professor Lloyd. Thank you.
I wasn't going to close prayer. I just wanted to mention that everybody, if they wish to do so, can save the chat with the three little dots at the bottom. I did put in one more thing around the Unity Eco Village Network, and I think as well, if we can work with Samson, we want to really, and the one thing I put in there, the Unity Peace Centers is a separate network that we would like to develop a network across Africa and eventually around the world as well, of these peace centers that will incorporate all of the solutions we've been promoting. And that is something hopefully we can also bring to the World Bank, so they can say, look, we're willing to help you get this built, because I think that's very important for our own sanity. Okay.
No, thank you. Yeah, please save the chat if you are able to. I always struggle, I never see the dots, but it's fine. If someone can save the chats, I will get them, and I'll get the information title from you, Professor Lloyd. Dr. Carlos.
Yes, thank you.
I just close until the president is spoken.
A short one.
Yes.
That if we can have some presenters for the following Monday, especially looking at food waste in Africa. Most times we normally think that food waste is only in the West, but in Africa, what I noticed, we are wasting a lot of food. So Susan Diego and others, they are experts in those areas. How can
yes,
we?
I can.
How can we address the issue?
Yes, I can.
In Africa? So that can be a solid presentation for us next week. So, Madam Susan, start to prepare now. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I think I will participate next week on Tuesday. I've been away for so long.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that is fact. Yes.
Yes,
thank you.
Welcome the presentation. Thank you.
Juliet, go ahead. Yes, you can close the meeting.
Thank you, everyone. We are now officially closed, and we'll see each other next week. Yes, please, let's encourage other people to also attend these meetings. All right. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Good morning.
Thank
good
you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carlos,
Bye.
Juliet,
Bye-bye.
Samson, Susan, everybody.
Bye.
Yes, right.
Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you, Prof. Lloyd. Thank you.